Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here.
That is a tremendous shot right there. Touch, nerve, he had it all, and he has the bottom of the barrel. Let's take you down to the 7th hole. Solid performance so far, holding steady through the middle of the second round.
Starting to earn the nickname Steady Eddie, really.
In the fairway, down there about 290. Okay, the second shot now at this par 5. This looks to be at least an extra club, maybe 2 clubs going way up that hill to the green. Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. Terrific golf shot. And now that for an easy birdie. Now this for birdie came away with par in the previous round. And with that birdie, moving into the top 20 on the leaderboard. On to the 8th hole, Frank. Nice par 3.
Yeah, this is where the accurate iron player will definitely get an advantage over the field.
So a chance for birdie after another solid approach shot. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business.
You'd like that one again. Well, I thought they'd at least pick up a shot. Birdie looked like a sitter. Now at par.
Always take that. Good par putt right there. Real golfers, by the way, do not eat tuna sandwiches at the turn. They eat a hot dog, right?
Well, yeah, but if you make a mess of 9, then you're making hamburgers. Oh, that's fine.
Frank, here at the 9th, what are most players trying to do?
Well, you really have to be aware of that bunker. That's about 25 yards short of the green. If you finish up there, that's one of the hardest shots in golf, the long bunker shot. So you've got to carry that, even if you want to run the ball onto this green.
Birdie try up next. Now this putt from 23 feet. Well, you could see he thought he had that.
It looked in the whole way until the end.
Well, you couldn't ask for much more than that, except to make it. This putt for par. Always love to hear the sound of the bottom of the cup. Frank, the great thing about TPC Boston, it generates fireworks. It's that kind of course, and we saw it today.
Yeah, and you can compare yourself, or you just have, with the best in the game because they play there every year.
No doubt about it, my friend. And for all of us here at EA Sports, alongside my partner Frank Nobilo, I'm Rich Lerner saying, until next time. EA Sports and the PGA Tour proudly present the season-long race for the FedEx Cup. Today, it's live third-round coverage of the Boston Championship. They'll be pretty happy with that 290-yard poke off the tee. This is the second shot at the par 4. That should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Birdie here yesterday, trying to do it again today. Moves into the top 25 with that birdie. Seventh hole, Frank, is a muscular par 5, 600 yards. What's the way to play it?
Just tee it up and hit it as hard as you can. Get this one on the fairway here, then you've got no problem carrying that huge cross bunker with your second shot.
Good contact, good result. Strong winds have been a factor all day here, Frank. What's the key to scoring low in conditions like this?
Well, sometimes you've almost got to make the ball go to ground. You've just got to keep it out of those high breezes, play away from the trouble.
Generate some momentum here at the seventh hole. Just for birdie. See if he can get something going here. 2 straight birdies. Moves into the top 10 with that birdie. Coming off the long par 5 7th, now a par 3, 213 yards. What's the 8th hole all about?
Another hole that picks with the same theme. Really want to fly this nice and high. That narrow part at the front of the green really is to be avoided unless the flag is there.
Frank, it hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
You wonder what he was thinking on that.
Second shot. Good look at the green. Been this way all day. Airtight, no mistakes, solid shot.
And yet another green in regulation. Now it's that sneaky distance.
Just has the feel today. Frank, I love a hot dog and a soda at the turn. How hard is it to take a giant bite out of this 9th hole? Looks tough.
It is. It's on for a little extra. Huge with a capital H.
Moved it a long ways. Wow, Frank, look at that one run, how it just blistered that tee shot.
Well, that has to be 325 if it's an inch.
Good, clean contact and a nice result, and a chance for birdie coming up. Par yesterday, Now for birdie. Came to the putt excited to make birdie. Now settle for par.
Yeah, little change in the attitude right now. When you've let one go, you've got to really knuckle down there and make sure you don't drop a shot. It's important this one goes in.
Well, you're not going to make that putt all the time, but you'd like to at least get it to the hole.
If he keeps putting like that, he's going to be an announcer in no time.
Frank, it has been that kind of a tournament. Another bogey. Well, that was a nearly flawless performance on the front side, but Frank, we know it's an 18-hole game, isn't it?
That's right. Now's not the time to pat yourself on the back.
Frank, in the changing weather conditions, players have so many different options, don't they? Some might like to play it high, others might want to play it a little lower and along the ground.
Really got to be on your toes today because of that, Rich, and really that's what separates the men from the boys, so to speak. You know that any mistake you make can obviously be magnified by the wind conditions, but conversely, it's a real good chance for skill to shine.
Well, this looks good.
Certainly is.
That's an absolute tracer right there. In the fairway and well over 320 yards. Chance to set himself up for a good scoring opportunity with his second shot here. Well, this one should be safe on deck here.
This is the fun part, knowing whether or not your body can handle the situation. You've got to push it to the limit, but that's what sport and golf is all about. Trying to do something that you've dreamed of for so long.
Championship. We're here at TPC Boston in Massachusetts. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo for EA Sports, set to bring you all of the action. And Frank, how does this course set up for the golfers out here today?
Well, Gil Hands and Brad Faxon, they did a lot of changes a few years back to sort of open up some of the driving areas. Consequently, you see there's a little bit more of a reward for the longer hitters. Fairways aren't really as tight as what you see on some other golf courses. Long and straight certainly gives you a big advantage at TPC Boston.
This is host of the Deutsche Bank Championship. That's Frank, looks like he came over just a little bit.
Yeah, that one wasn't pretty, but it's still gonna get away with it.
Not his best, but not his worst. It just got away a little bit to the right. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. Don't leave it short. Wow. Just a couple of feet. That's how you maintain momentum. Make those putts for par. Back here at the par 4 14th, ready to tee off. This is a big dog leg to the left. 495-yard hole, Frank.
Yeah, don't try and hug that left side too much. There's a bunch of little mounds, and the chances of getting a good lie there, next to none. second shot.
Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. Set to go, not an easy shot by any means. On the green, and a chance for birdie. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus.
That'll put the smile back on the face.
Frank, after a couple of par fours where you just sort of let it go with the driver, different strategy here at the 15th?
Yeah, you don't want to get carried away here. This is one where just a nice smooth swing, get that ball on the fairway. And that second shot, you've got to carry that false front.
Just an ideal lie, Frank. What can he do from here?
Well, if he takes advantage of the tee shot now and goes at this flag, then he'll certainly gain on the field.
Another good swing, and it looks like, Frank, another really good shot. Superb shot.
Well, it's as good as it's going to get. There's going to be no worries about making that one.
This is a pretty good performance right here. 6 under for the tournament. Frank, here at the 16th, you really see this sort of New England character, don't you?
Yeah, that stone wall now protects that sort of two-tiered green. And it sort of showcases the golf course. It just fits in beautifully with what Hans and Faxon have done to the golf course.
Good chance now for a birdie. That was an outstanding play.
Well, it's almost a guarantee there after that shot.
So a tester from 4 feet.
Which has been a very good workmanlike performance. Yet another birdie.
Into the top 15 on the leaderboard. Frank, the 17th here at TPC Boston underwent quite a radical change.
Yeah, that renovation and that redesign that they did, it changed the character of the hole, but they still kept that big mound in the middle of the green. So that second shot is still punishing if you misjudge it.
And players nursing a lead, they might want to think about playing it safe down the right side, but if you're trying to make up some ground, you could try to fly the church pews that divide the fairway into 2 sections, and that would give you a nice short wedge in.
Yeah, give you a short wedge in, but really the risk, is it worth it?
Throwing darts just inside of 5 feet. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie. That finds the bottom of the cup. We'll call that a birdie. Frank, the 18th here at TPC Boston, for whatever reason, generates quite a bit of buzz, doesn't it?
It does. The longer hitters, obviously, they lick their chops. They're having a chance to make this green in 2. But if you find one of the fairway bunkers, the addition of that pot bunker for the layup, that just makes that decision that much more difficult.
Frank, one of our colleagues at Golf Channel, Ryan Hammond's always liked to say, keep it in the short grass. It is nice to play from the fairway.
The game's so much easier from the fairway. Less decisions to be made. You don't have to worry about a flyer or the lip in front of the bunker or a tree. The game almost appears straightforward from there. this is not heading in the right direction.
Well, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Frank made this hole just a little bit harder hitting it into the rough.
I would say a lot harder. Remember, out of the rough. Expect the ball to jump forward a little bit.
Beautiful shot. That is tight.
Unbelievable. That is one to savor for the rest of the round.
Been pretty good all day from this distance. Just trying to take care of business. Headed in the right direction with that birdie.
Just sneaks into the top 10. It's a good move this week.
So that concludes the final round here at this spectacular setting. Frank, final thoughts on the tournament?
Rich, I thought this was really a fantastic venue that challenged the players, and we saw some exciting golf out there all across the board.
This is EA Sports. PGA Tour coverage coming up next. And we welcome you to one of the most popular golf courses on the PGA. In the thick stuff.
Thick? It's brutal out there.
Frank, here we go again. Another shot from the rough.
Yeah, let's see if he learned his lesson.
Frank, it's kind of cool if your golf course has a menacing name for the finishing stretch. There's the Bear Trap at PGA National, the Gauntlet at TPC Sawgrass, and here at Quail Hollow, the Green Mile. Does it earn the nickname?
Rich, I don't know about the name, but I think if you want to look at 3 holes in a row that are really going to get your attention, perhaps wreck your card, then 16, 17, and 18 at Quail Hollow are the ones. 16 a par 4 over 500 yards, 17 is just fraught with disaster, and then 18 requires you hit your best tee shot. I think even if those holes were in 3 different parts of the golf course, they get your attention.
Our featured golfer is already 5 holes in. Let's take you out now to the 6th. Early in the round and playing reasonably well. Nothing great, but has certainly not given a whole lot away.
Yeah, and actually a good position to really springboard the round from here. This looks like it's going to find the target.
That will be a great look at birdie. Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Starting to move now, Frank, on this leaderboard.
Certainly going all in the positive direction. In the middle of the pack, now top 15.
Frank, there's a lot to chew on here as you get to the tee at the 532-yard par 5 7th.
In today's game, 530 plus change you think is incredibly short. And look at the trouble in front of you. Water all the way down the right side and around that right side of the green. Bunkers left. This is not for the faint of heart.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Now set for the second shot here at the par 5 7th hole. Beautiful approach shot there and a good chance to take advantage. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Ooh, that hurts. Oh, man.
I just pushed it.
Ooh, that hurts. Makeable putt right here, currently sitting at 1 under for the round. Wow, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
Needs this for par. Stays at 1 under with that par. Out of the short par 4-8 here at Quail Hollow, just 350 yards. Frank, players can lay it up and just hit a little baby wedge into the green, but why not go for it in one and try to make something happen?
I think both plans work well, Rich. This is one of those holes, the more you think about it, the more complicated it gets. You're going to lay it up. If you're going to go for it, just aim at that tree and hit it down there. Just take your medicine.
Frank, they took the safe route off the tee. What are they facing now?
Yeah, 245 to the top of this hill, Rich. But still, look at that green up ahead, the angle of it. This is going to have to be hit properly. You want that ball to stop as soon as it lands.
That's a solid shot here into the 8th hole, and a good chance now for another birdie. Are you kidding me? He just missed that. I cannot believe that. That was such a short putt. One more turn of the golf ball.
Hubert Green once said 99% of putts that come up short don't go in.
So with that, the score is now at even par. Frank, this is a really good way to finish out the front side here at Quail Hollow. 495-yard par 4.
Yeah, it's the longest par 4 at Quail Hollow. Some say it might be the toughest. I'm not quite in that camp. And the reason why, that green slopes in from both sides, the left and the right. But you can see why good drivers have done well here, because there's a big reward for thumping a big, long, straight drive down here.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
That one ends up in the rough.
That went sideways.
This requires a lot of speed through the ball. That is classy.
Not had a chance of going in.
Settles in over the putt. Frank, that's a par, and onward we go. Well, that'll wrap it up for us today. We saw a lot of great golf, Frank.
Yeah, the course was good. It was gettable for some, but, in the end, it really gave you what you deserved, just the way we want it.
And that'll do it for our entire team. I'm Rich Lerner. Until next time. Coverage coming your way is presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo set to call all the action here at the Wells Fargo Championship. We are at Quail Hollow, and Frank, it is really one of the best courses on tour.
It is. The great state of North Carolina, where Donna Ross developed so many great courses. They're the sort of courses that we're used to seeing. But this is a relatively new golf course. First opened up in 1961, but it certainly fits in with the North Carolina landscape. Mature trees, holes well cut out, beautiful greens, and interesting finish.
How do you like that finishing stretch? They call it the Green Mile.
Some might think it's purgatory, but I think it's the perfect touch to a great golf course.
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Frank, I'm sure it feels good to get some red numbers on the card, but this tournament is probably too far out of reach at this point.
No question.
We're now teed up at the 15th hole. It is the final par 5 here at Quail Hollow, 577 yards. And Frank, I remember this hole well. McIlroy stiffed a 5-iron on his way to making eagle, his first PGA Tour win. That came back in 2010.
And the opportunity exists again here. Under 600 yards, plays downhill off the tee. Those two bunkers on the right are perfectly situated. That second one about 310 yards to it. So something straight at that one with a little draw will set up that mid-iron or long iron that has to be hit very high and uphill.
Nice shot right on the green and a pretty easy putt on the left. These putts keep the round together. Frank, this game will drive you crazy.
Yeah, you can do so many things right, and then just something so simple, completely wrong.
A birdie will send him to 1 under on the leaderboard. At last, we have arrived at the start of one of the most daunting finishing stretches in all of golf. They call it the Green Mile, 16, 17, and 18 here at Quail Hollow. The 16th is a par 4, 508 yards, Frank.
And this hole was made even more difficult when they pushed that green further left to bring the water more in play with the second shot. I mean, it's a great par 4. It's strong in every single department.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. See if he can get this one to drop here at the 16th for a birdie. But he's going for back-to-back birdies here, trying to jumpstart this round.
Some momentum moving in the right direction.
Has it now sitting at 2 under par for the tournament. Frank, this is all you want in a par 3, especially late in the round. You have to carry the water. You have to deal with the pressure. At 221 yards, this requires a player's very best.
On the process of elimination, don't go long, don't go left, don't go short, and right is marginal. It doesn't leave you with much.
And the tee shot ends up in the bunker. Now from the bunker.
Just a little splash out on this par 3.
How about that bunker shot, Frank?
That's up there with the greats. The sound, too, is wonderful. Good use of the bounce, and it looked like they were trying to hold it.
Workmanlike hole. He walks away with a par. Now to the finishing hole here at Quail Hollow. Frank, what can we expect?
If there was a name for this hole, Rich, it should be called Narrows. The creek that meanders its way down the left side and actually divides that hole into really half the size of what a normal par 4 should be. That makes it hard. The bunker on the right is your bailout area, just over 290 yards to get past that, and then the narrowest green that still sits up against the lake. This is just a brutal finish.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on that. Easy birdie.
Made par yesterday. This one for birdie. Well, the time is now to start making birdies, and there we go. One on the board, and suddenly inside the top 20.
Yeah, nothing to be ashamed of in that, but really, you've got to be aggressive from here on in.
This is EA Sports PGA Tour coverage coming up next. Welcome to the home of the Wells Fargo Championship, where the likes of Rory McIlroy, Ricky Fowler, and long-hitting J.B. Holmes have all won. It was first opened for play in 1961. It has really grown through the years, and it is now played by the best in the world. Rich Schroeder alongside Frank Novello for EA Sports. Let's jump down to the golf course. Up to the big boys now, Frank.
You saw that previous tee shot go 310. This one's further. Oh, Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Well, that would have been a bonus had it gone in, but still, reasonable chance for par here.
Yeah, there's no damage. You're not going to birdie every hole.
Simple, solid, and he'll take it.
But one that you need to make.
Frank, a nice mix of opening holes here at Quail Hollow in the Wells Fargo Championship. Pretty short par 3 here at the second.
180-yard shot will play more like 175 for the half a club downhill. There's much more green on that right side. If you're not too sure what club to hit, then you should stay away from that left side.
That is an excellent play right there. The approach, giving him another good look.
Shouldn't be a problem here. That had to really hurt, Frank, because it looked good all the way.
Well, this will test his mettle.
Could use this. Putt for par. He'll take par and move on. Moving on to the third hole now. It's a par 4, 452 yards.
Big sweeping dogleg left, and the fairway actually goes in the opposite direction of the dogleg. Must hit a good tee shot for two reasons. One, to find the fairway, and also the length of this hole, over 450 yards.
Great strike and a great result. Sitting up, good chance to attack the flag. Well, he's going to have to hit the same club a lot harder or just hit another one. Birdie try up next. Little redemption chance here. Had bogey yesterday.
Just when you think you're going to make birdie, now have to really concentrate on this and at least make par. Even par currently.
Right in the heart. Frank, this is a muscular par 4 here at just under 490 yards, the fourth at Quail Hollow. A difficult proposition.
It is, but fortunately that tee shot plays a little downhill. But one of the difficulties with the tee shot is the fairway kicks from right to left. So it needs a good one to keep it on the fairway. And another green that has 3 different levels.
Outstanding tee shot.
Yeah, ball sitting up. You don't have to worry about the wind or anything there. You just take a full-blooded cut at the second shot from here. Looks like it's heading for the bunker. Lucky devil. That was going in the bunker all the way.
Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. Starting to move now, Frank, on this leaderboard.
Certainly going all in the positive direction. In the middle of the pack, now top 15.
Frank, in today's modern game where players are hitting it so far, I always feel like one of the more exciting holes is a reachable par 5, and here we are at the 5th, 570 yards.
Yeah, this is reachable providing you hit a good drive. Otherwise, it becomes very awkward on the layup. You're sort of often threading the ball out of trees and just trying to find some sort of third shot. So to your point, big advantage with a good tee shot here.
He just blasted that one down the fairway. Out there about 325 yards. Headed for the bunker? How tough is this going to be now from the rough, Frank?
Oh, it's tough to say, Rich. I mean, so much is going to depend on that lie. I'm going to need a little bit of luck.
Safely aboard. Frank going for another birdie here.
Just to get on a real roll.
Moves into the top 10 with that birdie. Frank, this is where you know that players like Bubba Watson, Dustin Johnson, Rory McIlroy are playing a different game than guys like me. They step up to this 250-yard par 3 and they might hit a 5-iron. It is a little downhill, but they might be with a middle iron. A lot of us would be with a driver.
Well, you see the advantage of that power on this very hole, not just because of the length they got to hit it, but the green they're heading into. This green slopes off in both directions, right and left, so you have to land that ball in the middle of the green. So, yeah, it's a big advantage if you can go at this hole with like a 5-iron.
And he's made the green. Nudge this one home, finish it up. They'll take it. That's a par. Day 3, and what a tournament this is shaping up to be, Frank.
Quite simply, great weather, great golf, great fans, which is the perfect mix for a golfer trying to win a tournament. The final round, if this is anything to go by, has to just be sensational.